The title says it all. While I'm not going to make the brakes bigger at this point, they do need to be in fully functioning state, which means everything needs to get disassembled, rebuilt, or replaced. Here I'm measuring the braided lines in the front so I can get some replacements. They're 15 inches. It was just easy to find a standard replacement. They're secured with some zip ties there. I think we'll come back with an adapter and a proper clip to hold those in.
It's gonna fucking round it off. God damn it. Somebody re-rounded this shit off.
This one was close. I was afraid I was going to have to replace that line, but I do get it loose. There we go. What is that? Some kind of metal tag? When's the last time you saw a label like that? It did say Aeroquip, but that's just an indication of how long this car has been a race car, since Aeroquip made brake hoses with metal tags on them. It's 3/8. The old cardboard Sharpie situation is handy. I've since gone purely spreadsheet. Now you can have a spreadsheet in your pocket. I'm just a spreadsheet guy. Rebuild kits were easy to find, and the pistons were still in great shape. Although, on the front, one of the calipers had a larger bore diameter than the other. And it was very melted. On track, you can see that it's got the brake cooling ducts. The brakes are tiny and have solid rotors. And so they do get hot. What I was told is that once the dust boots have melted, then it's typically time to rebuild the calipers, and that could be every race. One of the disadvantages of running cars in SCCA production classes, the rules are restrictive as to the kind of modifications you can make. But I think ultimately, parts availability and durability is one of the things that drives the evolution of what cars people run and which cars people don't run anymore. I'm probably going to do time attack and hill climbs with this car. Um, so I probably eventually will find a easier to maintain and more durable brake setup. But for now, this will do. Here I'm installing the AN adapters into the calipers. Once it's AN on either end, and you don't have to worry about DOT certification, the hoses are relatively inexpensive. I read a wide range of opinions about how often the Teflon stainless braided hoses should be replaced. Some people said once a year, other people say they're good forever. I think the failure mode is actually that dirt works its way in between the stainless and Teflon and abrades through the Teflon eventually. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I've gotten distracted here and am finishing off some 3D printed prototypes for an alternator bracket. And you can see the little 50 amp alternator in the top corner there. Uh, Full video on that later. I also got a brand new master cylinder. I went with a stock one to replace what was there currently, um, because when I do go with a new brake setup, I will also select a matching master cylinder for that. I just wanted a simple fix for now. I got a rebuild kit for the clutch master cylinder. Uh, the adapters that go between the line and the hose have a provision for a retaining clip. That'll be nice and secure. All right, front caliper install. There were racing pads available. I believe they fit a 80s RX-7 FC, and with a little grinding, they fit into the Corolla pad retaining plates there. These were neat, easy to service. The calipers just held in with these two wedges. Put a little high temp grease on them, and then there's four little R clips that just hold the wedges in. If I had put the bottom one in first, then gravity would have helped me put the top one in. Instead, I fight with it. That's all there is to it. Retaining clips. It's done. Rear brakes. You all you all know that TE and KE Corollas came with drum brakes on the back. The SCCA rules did allow in production classes installation of disc brakes as long as the disc does not exceed the diameter of the drum that it is replacing. So this is a setup off of a 1980s Corolla, and then I think the discs were turned down maybe a quarter of an inch so that they fit within the rules. The front and rear have wheel spacers. The intent of those was to not for tire fitment, but to push the track width to the maximum spec for the car. Yeah, I don't know if you saw it. One of those just flew out. I had it in backwards. Those ones were more annoying than usual to put in. Eventually, I will go with an aftermarket setup for the brakes. Switching to aluminum calipers and hats for the rotors probably be a substantial weight savings. I didn't replace the hoses in the rear. They looked substantially newer than the ones in the front. So I called it good. Thanks for watching. This is the second video in this series. I'll post a link here to the first video in this series. Like and subscribe, and there's a lot more coming up.